Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty interesting. Propagating ferns.
Oh, yeah. Ferns. They seem simple, but I bet there's more to it.
Totally. We're looking at notes from someone named Ang, specifically notes on gardening, part 507.
Okay, Ang's notes. So what's the plan? What are we trying to figure out here?
Well, the mission is really to unpack Ang's methods.
Okay.
How did Ang actually propagate ferns, and what are the main takeaways for doing it successfully?
Gotcha. So diving into Ang's observations.
Exactly. And Ang presents this really cool contrast between just letting things happen and being, well, more hands-on.
Right. So Ang lays out a couple of different ways. Is that it?
Yeah, two main approaches. The first one is, well, it's incredibly simple, almost passive. What'd you think about that one?
That's the one that kind of surprised me.
Me too. Ang basically just left open seedling trays or like shallow containers with cocopeat in them.
Cocopeat, right? That coconut fiber stuff. Popular growing medium.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
just cocopeat, kept them watered, and then just waited, watched.
Yeah. And what happened? Just waited.
And wild ferns started growing. That, and some weeds too, obviously, but still, ferns
Yeah.
in these pots that were just sitting there.
Wow. Okay. So nature literally just found a way.
Pretty much. Ang even calls it just setting up a garden bed and let nature taking its course.
Yeah.
It's like zero effort propagation relying on spores already in the air.
That's wild. It really shows how resilient ferns are. Spores must be everywhere.
Totally. But then Ang talks about a second way, much more intentional this time.
Okay, so moving from passive to active, what's this method involve?
Right. This time, Ang takes the actual fern fronds,
Mm-hmm.
the leaves that have mature spores.
The spores. You find those on the underside, right? And those little dock things.
Exactly. They're called sori, little clusters of spores. So Ang takes these fronds, the ones with the ready-to-go spores, and places them right on top of the cocopeat.
Okay, so direct placement. More targeted.
Definitely. Ang does say this way is rather difficult, which is interesting.
Difficult. Why difficult? Seems straightforward.
Well, Ang thinks it's far more predictable than cultivation randomly by nature. So you get more control, maybe more success. But there are challenges.
Predictable makes sense. You're putting the spores right there. But the difficulty, maybe keeping conditions just right. Humidity, avoiding mold. Spores are tiny.
Yeah, that must be it. Ensuring the spores are actually mature, keeping things damp but not too damp. Patience, I guess. It's a finer touch.
Okay, so two methods. Let nature do it, or place the spores yourself carefully.
But then Ang hits us with, the most crucial point, the real picker.
Oh, what's that?
Ang stresses that it's best we identify the exact species of the ferns and choose the optimal propagation method instead of randomly propagating by chances.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense. Species identification.
Right. It's not just about the how, but the what. What fern are you actually trying to grow?
Because different ferns probably have totally different needs, different timing for spores, different conditions they like.
Exactly. So just trying either method randomly might work sometimes, by luck.
But it's not reliable. Knowing the species lets you tailor the approach. That's a great insight. It connects the two methods.
It really does. It's sort of the bridge between just observing nature and actively intervening with knowledge. That felt like the real aha moment for me from Ang's notes.
Yeah, understanding the specific subject in this case, the fern species, is key. That applies to so much, doesn't it?
It really does. So if someone's listening and wants to try this, what are the main things Ang teaches us?
Well, I think the core takeaways are, 1, yes, you can sometimes get lucky just setting up the right conditions passively. Fern spores are out there.
Okay, the let nature take its course option.
Right. And 2, being more direct, using mature spores placed intentionally gives you more predictability, even if it's a bit trickier.
The controlled method.
Exactly. But overarching both of those is Ang's biggest point. Know your fern. Identify the species. That's what really boosts your chances of success because you can pick the right method and conditions.
Perfect summary. Passive potential, predictable but tricky control, and the absolute need to know your specific fern.
Couldn't have said it better.
So just wrapping up our deep dive, we've seen Ang's 2 fern propagation paths and the huge importance of species knowledge. Here's something to maybe chew on. Think about that balance and other things you do. Observation versus intervention.
Yeah. When do you step back and just watch how things unfold naturally, maybe in learning something new or a project?
And when do you need that more direct, hands-on, targeted approach? And maybe consider what's the species identification, the crucial specific knowledge you might need in other parts of your life, not just the garden.
Interesting parallel. Good food for thought.
Definitely. Thanks for diving deep with us today.